Yeah.
trying to go over any area, deeply or softly or mildly or whatever, that might open up,
Get things
might
prepped.
vibrate that pain away, you know.
So today, and I got it recording. Today we're out here set up with Dawn doing a chair massage using a massage tool. This is a Me-Back one I got off of Amazon. It's got a pretty neat setup. It's all dialed in. We'll do an actual discussion about this one later on. It has many different tools. Right now I'm using the rubber tip tool. It takes a little bit of the compression away just to kind of warm it up. But first, I know Don's been out here working on himself, getting himself prepared with another massager, and he was experiencing some pain. He said before we were getting ready to go for our walk, and I said, well, you know, jump in the chair, let's get this happening. And I can feel a bit of inflammation in this area right here, so it's definitely been worked. I'll bet you the pec minor is going to have some fun issues too. And we'll do a neat little thing. Go ahead and set your arm back in place. First we're going to do is go ahead and warm it up with this rubber tip one. Just going to go lightly. I'm not really pressing anything down in there. And I'm paying attention. We know his spine's right here, and I know where his shoulder blades are, where the medial borders are at. And I am beating up the muscle itself a little because I just want to see what's going on, see if I can find our points. Feels to me, and I'm just going to use it over there for a little bit. Crank it up a little bit this side to use it. And I'm kind of pushing the muscle. This is thinking about the rhomboids, and I'm hook and push, hook and push, hook and push.
Yeah, that does some very deep work.
Yeah, this thing really gets down in there.
You couldn't have a novice operating that tool.
No, and the thing is you can get in deep, so you got to be cautious. Really control your movements. Now again, I'm using the heavy rubber one on purpose, so it has a lot of extra give to what's going on. And a little bit more sore on that side, right up at this border here. Right at this, what we're looking at is the levator scapula. So we're just going to kind of numb it a little bit. I'm literally pushing it like I'm pushing the levator scapula into the scapula. Push it in there. Push it in there. Push it in there. Now we're going to work our way out. Kind of stretching that muscle. I'm holding it down here, and I'm stretching it up towards his neck. I know where he's at. Right here is where we're looking for that levator scapula. So we're just stretching it. It's a type of stripping using mechanical tool to help. We're going to speed it up a little bit so I can go a little bit more topical. When you have that high speed, you're going a little more topical. Just a little more topical in there. Yeah. Now we're just going to kind of stretch that across. There we go. Stretch it down, stretch it down. Yeah, normally I would have been over here a lot earlier and we'd been headed out for our walk or got this taken care of. But I was working on our garden, getting some little bit of fencing in there. There we go. We're just kind of bouncing. I'm not really putting the downward pressure. You can put a lot of pressure with this thing, and I'm not doing that. I'm just working this way out.
Well, that's relieving. Whereas when I was doing some self-care with the massager, I didn't get quite that relief.
Yeah, Don was saying that this is actually giving him more relief. I'll grab the other massager so you can see it. And this is the one he's been using. It's a 2-ball style one by Homedics. And it works good. It really got us kicked into gear to doing this, but this jackhammer style one is,
yeah,
Don likes to call it.
I think the operator...
That's another big piece of it,
the
right?
The operator knows what they're doing and has control, can go deep in where it's needed.
Yeah. So what he's saying is it counts to have somebody that knows what they're doing going in there and working, getting it played out.
Like, that's really deep vibration. You can hear it in my voice.
Yep, nice deep vibrating.
That's what's good.
And I got it about 3 on the. I got it 3 on the speed, and I'm putting a little bit of pressure in there to try to get into the deeper part of it and get some releases through the subscaps. I'm pushing right in there, and my focus is there. My mental focus is, okay, I know where I'm at, and I'm pushing that energy into there, just like if I was doing with my hand. Just a lot faster, and it saves my hand a bit. I'm going to speed it up just a little bit. Speed gives us a little bit more numbing, long-term numbing. Think about it as more hertz going through there, spreading the cells, giving a little bit more space in there.
You know, I'm taking advantage of the vibration by making humming noises.
Yep.
To the vibration, it seems to take the vibration through the body.
Good job, Don. Good job. Going up to 5. Now we're just going to kind of topically beat it up a little bit now that things have started to break down. I can cruise along over the top of most of this real nice. Rhomboids ease off a little bit. So I'm going to switch to a different tool now.
Oh, that's a lot.
Oh yeah. Now we're going to go with, now this one you can't go right on the spine. This is a chisel style one. It's not light. If you don't know what you're doing, you're unsure, don't use it. Take some time to get trained up on it. Use it on yourself cautiously first so that you know what you're doing. I usually like to run these in around 2 to 3 to start with, maybe go faster later. My focus is on these rhomboids, bringing them across. That might be too much. Sometimes speed helps because you can go lighter and it just goes faster. See how that works?
That's cutting in.
Yeah, it's like a chisel. It's just, and my focus is different on there. Is this all right? Okay, you gotta check in with your client on these ones. Yeah. And if it's too much, switch tools. That's why you got them.
Yeah, that was cutting in. That was
A little extreme for you right now. Eventually, it'll be more comfortable. I'm gonna run this as a 2-prong one. I'm gonna run this up along there on either side of the spine, lightly. We're not trying to reset things. Lightly. The focus is getting these long muscles to just ease off a little bit. And the finger's right up against the occipital bones, so I know where our top point is. Just stretching them. Definitely got something happening right down here at this bottom of the trapezius as where it comes across, as well as where this rhomboids connect in. So we're going to change tools for that.
yeah, good idea.
You know, I'm going to use, we like to call it the tenderizer. And I'm using that on, going full speed, on the rhomboids themselves. And now it has these little edges, like a little octagon all the way around, so it helps out. I guess it's a 6-sided one, hexagon.
That's a good one for there.
Yeah. So it's tenderizing the top of the muscle, and then if I need to, I can get in sideways like this with an edge, or I can get in with a corner. Right up in there. See how I can push that in? Yeah, so that's telling us, because if you go to the other side, you can see. You know what I mean? Yeah, there's a little bit over there. Nowhere near the same. Now I'm focusing deeper. He said it's awesome.
Let's really get into the place with lots of vibration.
Deep vibrations.
I just can't help but open up that can. Oh, that's a headache. It's a little tender.
Right along those lats. And I'm not very pressure, I'm just barely putting pressure in there right now.
Right there, there's a little pain, right where you.
Right here. Yeah, and that's dealing with that teres major and minor area again. So we're switching gears. Trying to think of what's best on it. Yeah. We're going to go back to the rubber tipped one for that. See if we can put enough vibration in that sound. Okay. See how he's telling me that's what he wants for depth based on what he's feeling. I'm going to slow it down a little, but keep it deep. How's that? Would you like a little more? A little more. Or do you like the fast speed?
It depends where it is, because there's a very tender area right around in there.
How was that for that area then?
Fine.
Good, good. So we got it on a medium speed, so a 3, and I got a pretty good pressure, and not super pressure, but enough that I'm getting one green pressure light on the right side.
Yeah, yeah, right there. Tender, painful, directly right where you.
And knowing what that muscle is, I'm going to stretch it that direction. Try to get the acetylcholine to clear itself out.
That's the source of some of the deep pain.
Yeah.
None of this am I able to do self-care myself.
No, not this position.
And
even I can't.
Yeah, and I was doing a lot of work, a lot of time-consuming work, but it didn't get what you're doing.
No. This is what Don was saying, is that it's very difficult. He wasn't able to get into these areas properly, and this is where you need help. Even I can't.
Yeah.
You just can't get your arm to contort correctly and get the right pressures and relax at the same time to get into the spots. And I come up with some pretty interesting positions when I actually do my videos on me doing the self-care to be interesting to see. Still working out how each head feels and the pressures and stuff like that and the locations, so it'll take a little bit to narrow that all down.
What you've been doing is most akin to what you did during the 7 days, with your own bare hands.
Yeah.
Except this offers maybe not as acute and intuitive, but it offers this vibration that seems to go out.
Well, it allows me to relax. I can still do movement stuff. Go ahead and relax your arm, or I can get inside of there. But now, instead of getting in there with my thumb, I can get in there and just trying to drop that spot a little bit quicker. Down the deltoids. Pushing those off. Getting in there deep. Separating them off.
Right in there is another deep spot, yeah.
Yeah, that's where the deltoid tuberosity
That
is.
is doing a lot of good on the flesh. That's really trying to separate the flesh in a way,
Yeah, well, and that's the goal, is to separate these muscles. Cruising along this side now.
Oh, yeah. It's interesting. Sometimes I can feel a spark going right to the tip of my bad finger, my bad middle finger.
Yeah, and that's the nerve, ulnar, or radial nerve.
That nerve firing.
Yeah. Lighting it up a little bit. Lighting it up. Let that elbow drop a little bit. There we go.
Yeah, I just feel it in my breath, certain release.
Yeah.
Certain release that I wasn't feeling on my own. Not that what I did on my own is more surface helpful,
Just different.
you know, but really this deep injury and nagging pain requires a high skill.
Yeah. Well, being able to know where to go. One. Is that sore or is that ticklish?
It's neither.
Neither. Why you keep lifting up?
I don't know.
Oh yeah, it's so much more relaxed in the subscaps already. Go ahead and set your arm back up there. How is that feeling back here?
It's deep in soft pain, but it's having been relaxed, it's not as much, and it seems like it helped to open it up to healing.
Well, it's certainly a lot
Instead
more.
of just being maybe painful because it's needs to flow and there was some tightness or something.
There's a lot less tightness. I'm gonna do a little more topical and work out the traps.
Yeah.
Gotta be careful in there. I got a little deep. Does help to know where you're going, so you have confidence about what you're viewing, what tools to use,
I agree.
what to
So
feel
for
for.
the intermediate massager, no. You gotta have talent and skill. The machine is not smart. It can do a lot of work, but it's not smart.
No, it's just a tool. It's just a tool. Yes.
And when it's not without its,
Well, it's not a painless procedure, no matter what. But the cool thing is as long as things are relaxing, then it is a painless procedure. Now we're going to get down to those lumbar bones. Same thing, I'm right up along that longissimus and I'm just kind of dragging it away, sending some of the vibrations a little deeper, just dragging the postural muscles away.
You know, and it might be my heavy attempt to make my strokes yesterday in the cold water.
I got the shoulder going.
What I mean is, when I'm making my swimming strokes, I'm trying so hard to stretch the whole muscle into the correct position for the stroke.
Right.
And it's not without its pain, or it's sometimes catching or clicking or pain or something. So,
Well, the clicking is going to be more than likely some sort of ligamentous tear, or like I told you, a labral tear that will wear itself off. That's something that literally the body will have to digest again. Going with the glute max, glute medius, especially the glute medius.
so I have been working on the.
I just want you to know that, so you're ahead of time. Yeah.
Say that again.
I just wanted you to know that ahead of time, so that when you're dealing with that clicking pain, it's just what it is. It'll have to be worn through until it's done.
Okay, so I have to somewhat keep doing what I'm doing.
Yeah, you have to break it through. You have to literally wear it off.
Okay, and so let me guess. So then, that wouldn't surprise you that I would have some pain hours later or today.
Yeah, absolutely. It's inflamed in that joint, and that's where, especially in that portion of the pain, you could go back to icing it without doing any extra work. Just ice it.
What head do you have on now?
I have the tenderizer for the glute medius. Thing is if you're, and I'm going a little bit, I'm pushing right in there, not getting it super ahead of time. But this glute medius is feeling that way. It does not help the low back at all. So we're getting in there and just kind of breaking her down real quick, so that we can. You can kind of see the line for the glute medius.
And it's
Big muscles.
Very, I think you're showing that it's important to do these areas that are outside of the tender injured zone, because they are complementary and there's some stress going on as a result.
Right. Well, and they are themselves their own problems. Each area, it's not like I'm just working your shoulder. We're working the legs, working it all so that we can get this rebalance throughout the whole body. Our goal is homeostasis, not just feeling good. And the fact that you're twitchy on this side and not that side shows inside that glute medius and glute minimus that we need to get in there and break her up. Oh yeah. Now we have the jackhammer on there, so I'm not getting too crazy about coming up along that side there. Just easing into it. You can see that pressure differential there.
Just learning what a wonderful tool for therapy this deep vibrator head,
Yeah.
With skill on your part.
Yep. And this is literally this session set that we're doing. I'll show you. I'm doing it on myself as well. Use that same tool, and I'm in there pretty deep. Same areas I just worked on Dawn. So it's his low back. The glute medius on mine is upside.
I'm certainly willing to tell you when I've got pain and like that, so I've got to be willing to tell you when I feel the body kind of glowing with a little bit of relief.
Yeah, absolutely.
When I'm feeling a little bit glowing relief,
I'm going to move the camera real quick down to the feet. So we're going to do those. Just a quickie.
Oh!
And the person can see what it's like.
Bingo! Oh! Oh! Boy, and who doesn't like a foot massage?
I'm telling you, man.
Handmade foot massage, and I'm going to tell you what, it's like 10 times handmade foot massage right there.
Well,
the vibration in the soul is so sweet. So much more can be accomplished, I'm sorry to say, with that machine.
Well, the ability to get it warmed up so I can actually work. Get it broke down so I can actually do what I need to do as far as resetting all the bone structures.
It's vibrating my soul open. All the potential cysts or hot
inflammation
bubbles
issues.
inside that kind of slow the flow, stop the flow. An older person's hands and feet. Boy, does it massage nicely. Nicely. So they would have a chance to break apart. Doing it with your hand, very more painful.
Reset the camera again. So, how are we feeling up here, Don? Now that I got all that carried forward.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, put your hands on there and just see, because now you've done a lot of work.
Wow.
Substituting your intelligent, intuitive hands
Wow.
with that machine.
That's
And because you're intelligent with the machine, you're able to do a lot of work, maybe even sometimes more work than you're able to do with your by hand.
yeah, that feels a lot
That's
better.
what I'm thinking. Oh, yeah.
Much easier. Okay, we're gonna see where we're at here. Set that there. Let's see. Back to the soft tip. We're gonna go about 3. I'm not on the bone, but I am pushing in. While I'm at it, I'm gonna release under the arms. Yep, you go ahead and work on maintaining that hand, thank you. Let the shoulder fall down a little. There we go. And I'm coming into that chromium process there for this pec minor. Just rolling it in. I think I can actually have you sit the other way in the chair. And I'm purposely having him come up into position so that I can get up underneath stuff. Let's see if I can release some of that tension in there. Right up in those subs. Row speed and lots of pressure. Alright, Don, I'm going to have you turn around in the chair. Don't too often, and these chairs do this. Obviously, you can't have your head back. We're just going to use that headrest as kind of a positional thing. So you can kind of lean a little bit. Let's see, move that again. Okay. This is the areas we're talking about, for where the pec minor comes right up there, and you can. Yeah, right? Right? So I'm going to use the rubber tipped one to start with, and I'm going to use it at full speed, because what I want to do is just kind of vibrate that in there. And while I'm at it, I'm pushing in medially. Getting that pec major released all the way up to the sternum. Pretty advanced move, so if you don't know what you're doing or you're not sure of what you're doing in this area, either try it on yourself first or let somebody else do it, show you how to do it properly. Using the tool is easy enough. Knowing how to use the tool and where to go with it, that's where the trick comes in. That's where things become more work related. And I'm literally going through the pec major to get that pec minor. How's that pec minor feeling now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't able to do this, so I tried.
No, and it's hard. I normally have to manually release those, and this really helps get in there and just do a manual release, but at a much faster sonic rate, so your hertz are much higher.
Sonic, yeah. That's what it is. It's sonic.
Yeah, it's a type of ultrasonic wave, or it's a low, or maybe just a sonic one. But it allows all that release right inside of there. I mean, just burying in there. Oh.
Yeah, it sonically vibrates open the jam. That's what a novice would say.
Fill that up. More circulation in there. Right down there, got a little bit of chunk. And you still got to palpate. You still get to check things out, see what's going on in there. Now we're going to actually go laterally for a little bit and strip that muscle. Strip it towards its acromion process, its insertion point. Push it back. Stuff that's really difficult to do properly and timely. And gain the same results.
Feel that in my throat.
I shut her off, and I'm going to go in there and check things. Check it all out. See what we're doing, right? Yeah, much nicer. How's this side feeling? We're going to beat it up anyways. Well, we're going to tenderize it a little bit anyway, just for relaxing purposes, obviously. But what we want to look for is, let that arm fall, please, is our subscaps. How are our subs doing now? Look at that. So much more relaxed inside of there right off the bat. Now I'm going to tell you, there's quite a bit going on in there, and so we're going to go in there and check it out. Full speed again. Stick your hand, there in the head. Put your elbow into me if you want. There you go. Good idea. Hold it with that other arm. So you will hit that nerve. It's pretty big inside of here, and it's not going to kill it. Just remember to move off of it occasionally. And right on those subs, and I'm just pressing down into them. Taking the time ahead of time to get in there and relax those subs out. Definitely doing a backward angle here towards the subs. My focus is always into those subs. Carries major, minor, everything in the way, it's going to happen.
Oh yeah.
Lats in there as well.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that.
Isn't that great?
Vibrating the whole damn shoulder.
Now I've done this move on myself. You can relax a little bit. Same thing. Coming in underneath. Same thing on this side. Oh, that side's the same as Dawn. It just hurts like all get out. It needs to be worked more. So we're going to do this side here. I'm going to go ahead and do the lats since they're open. I know this side is... You can feel the difference right off the bat, can't you? This just feels good versus the other side.
It does feel good.
Whereas the other side is releasing.
Feels helpful.
Yeah.
Quickly releasing.
We're going to do the major and the minor real quick. Now with the arm up, you know your major's different. So let's go ahead and bring the arm down. It'll make it a little easier to get into that major and minor. There we go. Going medially. You can have the shirt on or off. It's up to you. It's up to you and your client to figure that out. There's a bit of a knot right here. And this will help break that up.
I feel it in my throat.
Oh yeah, well, it's definitely a vibration. If you want it to vibrate the the lungs and get them broken down, this will definitely get you there. A little bit there on that major, huh? Right up next to there.
Blockages there.
Yeah.
Ah. Oh. Oh, yeah.
Again, if it's too much, we back off and we just kind of topically break it down. Break it down first. Get it to relax a little bit. Easy to do on a table, easy to do on the floor. A little more difficult doing the chair, but you know, still an option.
Oh, but it works for the patient.
Yeah. Well, I mean for both sides. Positional arm positions, so. Game.
Good job.
Go ahead and move your arms around. Let's see how they're doing.
Good job.
Before you get up, though, because I'm going to be switching one more position. We're going to do, let's see if I can get my phone to tilt the way I want it to. We're going to do some legs. Stand it up from here. That's a weird spot, but there we go. That'll work. We're going to do some legs. Same tool. Are we going to do the same tool? These are big, bulky. See that? That's not the right. Let's go ahead and use this tool. Don't really notice it much inside of there, right? On comparison, we're going to go in there and topically break it down. If we're going to do that, we're going to switch tools. Back to the tenderizer. Actually working underneath the quadratus intermedius, pushing it across. Or the vastus intermedius.
Oh, yeah, effective. Oh, boy.
Yep.
That just loosens all the flesh on the bone and the cells and the meat and the nerves and veins and arteries and gives a whole breadth of space.
Yeah.
That's what we try to create in yoga, is space.
Circulation.
And actually, this is a terrific assist to the discipline of yoga as well. You know?
Oh yeah, it is.
I was doing lying in supta on my back today with the leg up and holding the leg with holding the big toe with your arm and raising the leg up, trying to straighten it. Well, it's quite a stretch in the leg, but I had the
chisel time
therapeutic machine nearby, and I grabbed it, and while I'm holding the leg up in the air with my hand around the toes, stretching that leg, I'm able to work the root of the leg, and surprisingly, that in itself allows for the space and allows for the opening for that particular yoga position. Now, you can get there by going slow and willing your way there, but this just softens it up nicely as I was working it, you know?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So it's a very complementary tool.
Absolutely. And more as I work on you and as you work on yourself, you start to find what to do. I'm a little more pinpointy, less broad area. I'm looking for very specific joints and junctures and stuff. Obviously, that's what I do. So, like here, I'm literally going for the vastus intermedius. It's right underneath this, being right over the top here. And I'm peeling underneath there. I want to separate
you really
those two.
Are, yeah. Oh, you really are. And as you know, those are very tight, aren't they?
It is. This is the quadratus femoris on top. Medialis, vastus lateralis, and intermedius is underneath. They're literally underneath there. You got one on top of the other, and I'm trying to separate the two of them a little bit. Give them some of that space in there again.
Did you say this would be called, or it's similar to a myofascial muscle release?
Yeah, the topical portion of it is more myofascial, where it's getting in there just inside. What I'm doing is actually using it in full stretch relief. I would call it, to some degree, it's non-surgical interventions. And
it
it's
really is.
And it's a lot of what do you call it? Non-invasive surgical as well for where we're going and what we're doing with this. So the next piece I'm going to put back on is the rubber tool, and we're going to do pes anserinus which is our adductors right there. Right where they connect, getting in there and breaking them down. And then on the tibial plateau,
Well, as a practitioner of yoga, as a yogi for so many years, I sure can appreciate this and complementary to the yoga.
certainly.
Oh boy, it does
You can put your
some.
foot right on top of mine.
It does some.
There we go. Put it right on top of there. There we go. That way I can get a balanced position. We're going to crank it up. Get in there. This is working that tensor fasciae latae, or also an IT band, and we're just giving it a little bit of vibration. Breaking it down. You'd be surprised at how loose that can actually end up being. I had no concept until I broke mine down how loose that could actually end up being. It takes quite a bit of work. It takes a lot of strain off your back and your knees when it's working properly. There you go. Do the other leg. Let's see, I'll turn this a little bit. There we go. You can put your foot on top of mine. And I'm just bracing him. I mean, we're doing non-conventional style work. Randomly close to the picnic bench, setting things up and just making things happen. Just kind of like what you would run across if you were just out and about.
Well, it's only non-conventional because most operators would operate this more like a simple massage tool.
Right.
But it's so much more than a massage tool. It has deep power, sends vibrations well into the area, and Tio has the talent and knowledge and intuitive ability and
There we go. Right on that tibial plateau.
to know what he's acutely doing. So,
Break that down. Last night I got into breaking it down on every bit of my tibia, my fibula. I was using the chisel all over the place.
oh yeah?
Oh man. Once you get to where you're a little more relaxed, we'll have to have you laying down or something to do a lot of those chisel ones. But I was actually getting in behind chiseling that your quads are like, or your.
Are you doing it
Just like nobody's business.
parallel to the striations of the muscle?
Well, sometimes I'm doing it alongside of them that way, and sometimes I'm doing it almost
Perpendicular.
Yeah. So sometimes I'm chiseling alongside like this.
Yeah.
Right. So I'll have the chisel one out, and I'll be chiseling alongside that leg like this,
Yeah.
trying to separate it. And then sometimes I'm using it like it's stripping,
Oh, I get it.
right? And then I'll,
Right.
and then so I just keep switching gears. So I'm thinking about the muscle in the way I want it to be stripped or moved and things like that. And that's what I'm using each of these tools as they are a piece of my hand. They're just speeding up the process for me. Remember to clean all your tools with some wipes before you put them away. This one here, 3 hours of run time, 3 hours to charge. Really nice piece of equipment. It's $150 on Amazon. They have other ones. This is the one I got. What do you want me to say? I'm liking it so far. So, and we're going to continue to use it and see how much more we can gain out of it, and we'll do more videos. Have a fantastic day out there.